And I begin the session, I get their name and, you know, we get to know each other a little bit. And from there, we start talking about, why they're here.
I'm sorry. Restart. So we're back, and so we talked about what is hypnosis, how does it work, and so first you have intake and find a common goal. So can you explain how you start a session?
Yeah, so after I figure out, what the problem is, what the goal is, I get an intake of the feelings and emotions that come from it. And, um, after that, I educate the client about what hypnosis is. I tell them what hypnosis is. I ask them if they have any fears or misconceptions, because there's a lot of propaganda uh, going around about what hypnosis is. So from there, um, I would do a few deepening techniques to make a person more relaxed and calm. And when you're calm, you can think about a couple things a little bit better, and you can actually use some better judgment. And it's like the opposite of being drunk in a way. The more calm you are. So um, from there, we go into specific hypnotic techniques relating to the problem and what techniques would be best. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Do you want to do any of those relaxation techniques right now, or what's your game plan? What do you want to do? Because I think that I would like to experience some hypnosis. I want to see what it's like. So.
Yeah.
Or I guess you could just go through the steps of the breathing that you do to relax someone that's getting hypnotized. Or
Yeah. I use a hand wave,
okay.
so you can sit there right where you're at.
Okay.
And what you would do is look at one spot on my hand.
Okay.
And focus on that one spot as if nothing else matters. Fixate all your gaze on that one spot as if nothing else matters. Good. Now I want you to take a deep breath in, fill your lungs completely. And as you exhale, think to yourself, sleep. And one more time, deep breath in, fill your lungs completely. And as you exhale, think to yourself, sleep. Good. Now you can breathe normally. In a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And when I get to number 1, you'll allow your eyes to completely shut. With each number that comes down, you allow yourself to grow more and more relaxed. 5. Thinking to yourself, sleep, sleep, sleep. 4. Releasing all the tension that you have in your body. Going down even deeper. 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 3. Growing deeper relaxed. Deeper relaxed. Deeper relaxed. 2. Allowing yourself to completely relax all the tension in your body. Allowing yourself to be one with your breathing. And 1. And completely let go. Ease all the tension in your body. Allow yourself to focus on nothing except your breath. The calm easing out and in of each breath. And I'm going to count back up from 1 to 5. And when I get to number 5, you allow yourself to be completely awake to your normal, regular waking consciousness. 1. Coming back more and more to the sound of my voice. 2. Feeling good about yourself, the world, and everything in it. 3. Coming back more and more. 4. In a moment, you'll allow yourself to completely come back to your waking consciousness. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, You can begin to breathe, move, and stretch. And yeah. So that was literally the beginning and how I would end the session.
Nice. I feel relaxed. I feel the tension definitely released from my body. Like I felt I don't know, I felt some tension relief there. So you do that before each session or
Yeah, I think that with every session that I have, I do a hand wave. That technique right there. And yeah, and that's how I would end the session too. Once we do all the work that we need to do and talk about the things that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
That's how I wake people up after a session.
That's nice. I definitely applied too. Like I think that like looking at that spot on your hand was like kind of like I felt like the trance of because like I don't know, it's different.
Yeah, because it was flowing with your breathing patterns too. And if you look this way, for example, it makes your body turn that way. Like I did wrestling also, and they used to always say like look away from the half. If someone's like trying to turn you this way,
Yeah.
if you turn this way, you'll get on your back. But if you look away from it, it just gives you better balance. So our eyes, our breath, our focus. Hypnotherapy is a really holistic practice. You know, we just don't really see it as much just because you know, we just put in the category of mental health, but it helps with so many other things that aren't so obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, like so hypnotherapy is used for memory recall, diving into your subconscious. It helps with like you can dive into like so for instance, like I'm a criminology major, so we learned a little bit about hypnotherapy and how like victims of crimes or of just trauma, they kind of could go back into what happened without re-traumatizing themselves because it's recalling in their memory without them being conscious. Well, they are conscious, they're just in like a dreamlike state or like I don't know, it's just like recalling those past events that you wouldn't normally recall if you were like conscious because you're diving into your subconscious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it's just like how if you forget something and then you remember something like, oh, where'd I put this stuff?
Like my keys, for example, because
yeah.
I still cannot find my car keys and I need to find them by tomorrow. But yeah, it's useful for that, right?
And you know, the map to your keys could be right there inside your subconscious mind. You know, except it's hard to control the subconscious mind sometimes. Like you might forget something consciously, and just from seeing something like a book, you might think, oh, that book has this stuff in it, and oh my gosh, I left my keys at the library or something like that, you know?
Yeah, something that jogs or
like a trigger. It's just like how the smell of macaroni, if your grandma made it or something like that, when you smell macaroni, your grandma's not there or anything like that, but the smell of that can be like just something, it'll connect the dots, you know, and you can see things a little bit more clear. So
wow, yeah.
So with hypnotherapy, it can focus so much on one specific moment or event, and you can put in, you know, you'll be more aware of the feelings that you were feeling, you know, your thoughts that you were thinking at that time, everything that goes into it. And from your subconscious mind, the hypnotherapist, it would help you fill in the dots. Like, okay, this makes sense, this this is where my keys are, or this is where my anxiety is, or this is where this is where it's at. And from there, just having that awareness, now you can get your keys. Now you can use these tools to let go of anxiety or depression or something like that.
It's so interesting how like like you said, it can, where you can kind of find out where your anxiety came from. You know, it's so interesting how like you're just in this state where your mind, you know, is able to like, you know, memory recall. Like it's just so interesting how like you can really like go back into that moment. You know, I find that so interesting, like about hypnotherapy, that you can really just like take a couple minutes and like, or however long the session is, and really just like recall that situation and really like have that realization after of like the truth of why you are acting a certain way, or have these self-limiting beliefs like we were talking about before. Yeah, like finding the source. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was even one case where there was a woman, she hooked up with a guy, um, and the guy gave her his number, except she lost the number, and she found out that she was pregnant, and she started to have a panic attack. It was a crisis, and she ended up seeing a hypnotherapist who brought her back to the exact moment in that night where he gave her his number, and she was able to recall all 7 digits of that number and was able to call him. Where otherwise she would have just hoped that she saw him someday
Yeah, yeah,
again.
yeah. And I also wanted to dive into like, I don't know, like you said, like the mind and body connection, like waking up every morning with a purpose, like someone like Steve Jobs that's successful. He wakes up and his mind and body are connected. Like I guess like finding happiness, and like hypnotherapy can help with, you know, can help with trauma, or you know, finding out where your anxiety is, like, or what's stopping your growth, kind of. And like having that mind and body connection is vital to like being happy and finding that thing that's blocking you from being successful, I guess.
Yeah, we're the makeup of everything that we think that we are. If we think of ourselves as, you know, an angel or a light or something like that, that can guide people, then we can be that, because we'll act like it, we'll talk like it, and we actually genuinely believe it, regardless if other people don't believe it. And that's what would form our personality, and that's what can actually form our destiny. So, for example, Steve Jobs, he had an ideal about making, phones and stuff like that, and innovating it to the point that we have iPhones. It was a huge game changer when iPhone really dropped and became so popular. So he had that ideal. He kept going for it. I'm sure along the path, he had a lot of people who had doubts about him and doubts about his ideals, but he never let that shut him down to the point to where he doesn't pursue it. So,
Yeah.
so, so that's all that changes. Like, we're no different than Steve Jobs. He has a brain. Well, he had a brain. Rest in peace. You know, he has. He had a heart, lungs, intestines, a body, arms, legs, whatever it is. We're almost exactly like Steve Jobs in our own way. The only thing that separates us is really just the big part that separates us is the mind. And really, if we take out these aspects of our mind, we can, these self-limiting thoughts, this low self-esteem, you know, the naysayers and stuff like that. If we really if we put more focus into what we actually thought and who we actually are, we can express that to the point to where we're getting all these accolades based off of what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. Setting up your mind to like guide your body is like, you know, it's you have to be connected to your mind. Like you have to be connected in order to like flow without, you know, having those blockages. I don't know. Waking up with a purpose is important. A routine is important, and like going for those goals and those things that like keep you going. That's important. So, did you want to add anything else, or?
Yeah, I
Mm,
think that it's a good thing that you brought up like the routines and stuff like that.
mm,
Like, if we can really organize our lives, like regardless of how our mood is at the moment, behaviors play a huge influence on our moods and where we're going and stuff like that.
mm,
So if we want to be our best version of ourselves in the morning, it's gonna take more than just having that ideal in our mind. You know, you have to prepare. You know, maybe put get your clothes ready for in the morning.
mm.
uh,
Set yourself up to be
yeah,
successful.
set yourself up to be successful and not to fail. um, and that's a huge part. Just drinking water, for example, that plays a huge part in our physical health and our mental health, even in our emotional health as well.
Mm-hmm.
um, So yeah, and there's a lot of different lifestyle habits that would be good depending on a person's, where someone's at in life and what they want and where they're trying to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personally, right now, like I have a couple blockages going on with all COVID and the I don't know, the holidays are kind of difficult for me. So I've been manifesting intuition in my career and really trying to meditate on that. And I think that obviously I'm gonna give myself time to figure it out. But waking up every morning and doing the same thing and being focused on that one goal, I think I'm gonna figure it out. I have faith in myself that if I stay connected to that goal and my body, and I think that it's the key to having success and to having that realization eventually, or epiphany or whatever. But yeah. Um, Thank you, Jed, for talking to me today. I love gaining knowledge and connecting with people. And thank everybody for tuning in. This is a very unique episode, and we're looking to make this a series. Hopefully, I would like to. And this is our first YouTube video on NCP, Nirvana Cosmosis Podcast. This will be available on YouTube. Follow Jed on Instagram if you want more information about hypnotherapy, if you want to be, mesmerized by his craft. His Instagram is Jed Kawil.
Yeah, Kawil with
Yeah.
Kawil,
Yep.
and Jed is just JED.
Yep. So you find him on Instagram, JEDKAWIL. And namaste, people. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Peace and blessings.